they provided you with a letter that Chief was nice enough to provide to me last week. I don't know if you have that in your packet to take a look at.
Yeah, it's here.
This new structure is built in such a way to withstand the floodplain.
Yeah, it's elevated. It's elevated above the flood elevation.
Rick, how much water you seen in there?
I seen it up to the steps on the door going in the building.
Yeah. And I've seen it up there too.
Yeah, I know the folks that work there have seen it as well.
That's why I asked him. I don't think it requires a lot of discussion, it's gonna,
He
not
just
gonna be,
said some-
we're not gonna be any worse off after the building than they were before.
No, the engineer made some recommendations depending on what the building was to be used for. In there, there's the engineer that said, the engineer says that according to our floodplain ordinance, we are to have soil conservation review it. I contacted Matt Gold at Soil Conservation, they don't review these documents. It's something that's probably outdated or whatnot. So my understanding is, as long as you, because there's some restrictions in there about what chemicals, like buildings for storing chemicals and that sort of stuff, that he outlines. So as long as you guys approve it, conditional to his recommendations, he was good with it.
And I can address, there's a couple of these items that are kind of open-ended questions. I can speak, and they're pretty simple. Item 3 in that letter asks if there's fill proposed for the building construction. No fill, other than the building itself, if you consider that fill, but no earth or rock material, no grading change is occurring other than just the building itself. Number 4 talks about a subsection of the floodplain ordinance and if a variance is needed. I think that's the one that talks about the materials stored in the building. None of those materials will be stored in the building, so that really is a non-issue. And then the last one was the Conservation District review. So, yeah, we work with Matt Golden on a lot of projects, and there's some that fall under criteria, under state regulation, that we are sending plans to him for review. This wouldn't fall under any state requirement for review, but certainly if you wanted to require that under your ordinance, then that would be your prerogative.
I move we grant the approval with the engineer's stipulations and adhered to.
Got a motion to approve as long as they follow what the engineer recommends.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Running theme, everybody gets to use the property tonight. How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Tom,
Yep.
Doug,
Yeah.
Ed,
Yeah.
5 yes, motion carried.
I'll make sure somebody from Columbia comes down and kiss the ring. So.
I don't know on their promises, but they don't. We take all gifts if you wanna give us a park, give us some playground equipment, we take it all.
Do you need anything further from me this evening, Lynn?
I don't believe you. None of that needed signed or anything.
Like check?
Credit card?
I'll pass the request on.
Nope, you deal with municipal consulting now.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Can I go with you?
I'll hold the door open just a little bit. Right out behind me, no one will know.
Thomas Martin plan. Driveway permit. Thomas Martin driveway permit.
It's been reviewed by our personnel already.
Yep.
Yes.
I move we approve.
I'll second it. Any discussion? How do you vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Tom,
Yep.
Ed,
Yep.
5 yes, motion carried.
Interstate Village Extension.
That is
The
That would be this one.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Oh.
And that.
Oh, I remember you from in the rain that day.
Same picture over here too. on the
Yeah,
wall.
I've got this picture to remind you guys. Here on behalf of GSP Management, they manage the current mobile home park. They're proposing to expand, they're putting 13 new lots It's kind of net 12 because in order to get the access road in, we have to move one of the existing mobile homes over here. So there would be 6 new double wides and 6 new single wides, plus moving that one existing one over. We're here looking for land development approval. We will need to go through the NPDS process, but we wanted to run it by you guys first. And so we got any changes in that you guys wanted before we go to the conservation district. Rich reviewed it and he had comments which we're all fine with. I actually got most of them already done. I have a new set of plans I can leave with you guys. The only thing I'm waiting on is the pump specs that he had asked for, so I'm gonna get you guys that report as soon as we get it. But we'd be looking for conditional approval based on Rich's letter. Happy to answer any questions you guys have.
So it really hasn't changed much from the day we were up there at the site?
No.
Yeah.
I move we grant approval based upon the engineer's
Conditional,
conditions.
that's all they're looking for right now, is a conditional.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second for conditional approval. Discussion.
Where's the new road gonna go?
Say it again?
Where's the new road gonna go in?
It's off of the existing interstate drive, so it's within the mobile home park. And it's, I think, the third mobile home on the right when you go in. It'll be, if you're familiar with the area, you come
I
in
live
to
there.
oh, you do? There you go, so it'd be like the third one to the right, and it'll go down.
You don't live in the third one to the right, do you?
Come in like it.
So that's the current plan. I've got a better diagram here, I can show you, it's zoomed in. So this is where it comes in here. Looks like the fourth one, actually. Back behind here.
Okay, any other discussion? Got a motion and a second for conditional approval of the trailer park expansion plans. How do you vote?
Tammy,
Yes.
Tom,
Yep.
Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Ed.
Yep. You
5
came on a
yes,
good
motion
night, everybody gets to
carried.
use their property tonight.
Thank you very much.
Man, did you submit a copy of the updated plans to our engineer yet?
I have not.
I know you guys go back and forth. Do you expecting us to do that?
No, I'll send it to them.
Steve Wojtek, cut permit
For Clovis Road.
for Clovis Road. I seen that somewhere here.
Yeah.
Checks in here, everything's.
Yeah, everything's good.
Why are we opening the road?
There you go.
Apparently his water line got ripped out when they were ditching,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it had been there for 50 years, and he wants to put the road, water line back.
Must have been shallow.
It was, he wants it deeper and everything. He was real nice about it, Darren. I mean, he wasn't like
Rather than us-
bitching,
yeah.
raising heck and all that there. He knew that there was a problem and he accepted it.
I think
Yeah.
it freeze, if that's all deeper.
Well, I think it's a spring and it runs all the time.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it didn't freeze.
I move we grant approval.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second, any vote or discussion? How do you vote?
Tom,
Yes,
Kathy,
Yep.
Tammy,
Yes.
Doug.
Yeah.
Ed,
Sure.
5 yes, motion carried.
Valley View logging permit on Shaler.
Mm-hmm.
Has it happened yet?
I do believe so. They changed their mind and then changed their mind again and never told
I've
anybody.
seen some trucks going by different times.
Do we have any of their money?
Yes,
Okay.
and Rich did, videoed it the first time, so.
I move we grant the permit.
Okay, got a motion, I'll second. Discussion. How do you vote?
Can I ask,
Yeah,
what form is being logged?
on Shaler Road. I don't know.
I think it's the Ward Farm. I don't know where they're coming out of,
Ethan or Philip?
I
Ethan.
think it's Ethan,
It's
cause I
Ethan
seen
based on the
logs,
distance.
I seen logs staged down by that lower barn
Okay,
at one point.
all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because the debate was whether or not it was closer to the top or the bottom,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna guess
Well,
it
the
must be
only
down.
timber is up top, there's none down the bottom, really. I don't
Well,
think.
they might be dragging it from clear across the hills, who knows? None of my business. All right,
Could be.
how do you vote?
Tom,
Yep.
Doug,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yeah.
5 yes, motion carries.
Number 9, passing on the cost of Whitmer reviewing Saldo. I don't know what that's about.
I think it would be the cost of Widmer showing up to help us with the saldo,
75.
to discuss it. I don't know. Unless it was for, I don't know, I think Chief knew.
Oh, the chief, yeah.
I think.
He said. Oh, he went back there.
Widmer and the saldo.
I'm the doorman. Whitmer and the Saldo.
Passing on.
Passing on the
Passing
cost.
on the cost.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about the, having the engineer locate the right of way on Mr. Williams, is this the one we're
I'm
talking?
assuming, yes.
It's $75?
They don't say no cost, it just
Put
says
it
cost.
on the agenda.
I thought it was, I did, I thought it was for all of it.
No, what the ordinance provides for is if there's a cost incurred. So if we were built in the right of way,
Okay.
we had to have an engineer go and
I
research it,
understand, I see.
and then he had to have a surveyor go out and locate it.
Okay,
And whatever that cost was, by ordinance, is to be passed on.
So,
Unfortunately,
see, you stuck around too long. You still get to use your property, but it's gonna cost you.
There's no fine or fee in that, that's simply.
Yeah.
It's just
We're
whatever it
not-
costs.
Reimbursement.
It's what-
Whenever Widmer gets around to,
It's
well,
whatever,
they've already done.
so we don't need that,
It was
that
$75.
don't require any
It's in the
action.
ordinance.
Yeah.
So just do what the ordinance.
I believe it's, yeah.
It
I
was a
mean, the solicitor
$75
double check.
charge, I'm pretty sure.
75?
Yeah, it's in the list of bills there,
Okay,
on their invoice.
okay, so,
I can live with that.
okay. Municipal
Do we have to vote on that? Or do you have
No.
to vote on it?
we don't have to vote. MMO, minimum municipal obligation approval. I had a paper
That's
for
the one that we do every year.
that. It's for the retirement or something?
Doesn't it require resolution?
Yeah.
Do we do it?
I don't remember.
I'm thinking we had to do resolution.
Yeah.
So we need a resolution to pay this, or?
We have to,
participate?
you have to set an amount of money.
Yeah, you have to set it.
We know, how much was it?
There is, you all have a copy of that.
I have it in here.
Yeah. Estimated was 42,000.
There's two different ones, you got the non-union and the union.
yeah, there's two.
Estimated is 99,000. So the MMO is the number we're looking at?
Well, for the uniform, it's always a negative, we never owe anything on it.
Yeah.
On the non-uniform, it'll be the
It's
12,717.
Yeah, okay. You shouldn't give me originals, because I like to draw them.
I don't think you have to,
Okay.
do
Oh,
I?
I won't. You told me, I'm trying to be careful, because you told me I had
Please,
originals.
just in case. I thought some.
Okay, so Doug, you're the
Well,
one with all the experience.
I would move that we pass a resolution that would include the language that's on the first page
Yeah.
with the two documents that's on the last two pages, which are each plan.
Okay.
You know, include those, the resolution that we adopt these municipal, the MMO,
Okay.
municipal obligation with that language in the front page and these two pages that's on the back. I don't think it needs to say anything more than that.
Okay, we got a motion to,
For the year 2020.
pass a resolution to adopt the MMO with the language there from Act 205 of 1984, blah, 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 which includes the numbers, schedules on the following pages. I'll second.
Who made the motion?
Doug,
I did.
Okay, sorry.
discussion. I don't think we're getting out of it, so we may as well do it. How do you vote?
Tom,
Yep.
Tammy? Yes. Kathy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
5 yes, motion passed.
You'll type up a resolution and sign and put a seal on it.
Okay.
Casey Bush Asphalt Ceiling has an estimate of $1,700 without line painting.
I thought it said 1,800.
I thought it said 2,300. I thought I seen something that said.
That must have been with lines.
We need to have lines, I'm not sure what cost.
It is 18.
That's the way to do it without
No, they
lines.
just said they didn't do
They
lines.
park a lot better.
They do not
It'd be a
do
free
the
for all,
lines.
everybody just park all crooked out there.
That's what they do anyway.
They don't do the lines,
Yeah.
but he has a company that will come in and do them, so I didn't know whether we'd want them or whether we'd want Rich to turn it.
Do what?
Have Rich do it.
We talked about Rich doing it at one point.
It's a very labor intensive project or process if you try doing it without the right equipment.
So we wanna.
I would think we'd wanna hire it out.
Sure. Is that the one I told you about?
Yes, no, this isn't. I called them, they were in Allegheny County, they wouldn't come this far, so they
Okay.
gave me this guy's name. But yeah, thanks, because that gave me a lead.
Did you have a bid, how much it cost to get the lines put on this parking lot? Do we know?
I didn't get that yet.
I just wondered.
So you wanna get that sealed. as soon as
Okay,
you can.
$1,800. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay for it out of general fund.
This one says 1,700.
Billy Lyons.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Diet.
It's 18.
Oh.
Everybody else wants it, you know.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll move. But we spend $1,800 out of general
I got
fund.
a line painting company in Washington called Gary Dilly Line Painting. You might want to contact them.
Gary,
For
didn't you?
Gary Dilly Line Painting, DILLIE.
Is this not
Does
something our
anybody
road
second
road
that?
crew can handle?
I want to hear one.
I mean, we're painting lines.
They're ditching.
I'll second it.
It's expected.
Hang on.
I'll never forget
Hang on.
the last one.
Got a motion and a second. Now we can talk. Okay. Discussion. You have a guy that we can contact about that line painting, maybe? Okay. This is without line painting. Everybody realizes that. All right. Any other discussion?
Isn't this something our road crew can handle? I mean, I send shop hands out to do it in our parking lot.
But
We have a little thing, it rolls on the ground and sprays it right out.
Upside
down.
So this is not complicated.
There's some cracks in there that need.
You mean the
For
ceiling?
painting lines?
You mean the ceiling or the line?
I'm just talking about the line.
And we're talking about ceiling.
We're just talking about the ceiling
But you're
currently.
mentioning the line painting.
Showed for example.
That's in the next
That's,
call.
that'll be the next, after we get it sealed.
Fair enough.
Depending
Okay.
on what they approve.
Any other discussion? Motion is second to have, I forget the name of the company.
CJ Paving Company.
$1,800. How do you vote?
Tammy?
Yes.
Paid out of general fund.
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Tom?
Yep.
Ed?
Yeah,
5 yes, motion carries.
okay. You swear on, you understand?
I'm good.
Well, Sharon had asked me about what we did down back here. And it's been several years now, 4 or 5 years ago, we tarred and chipped that when we tarred and chipped to seal that up. It's the same thing, it's falling apart like everything else. So I'm just thinking, we get any tar and chipping, that we got any extras,
Oh.
you know, or we get somebody back to do that we did to do that back lot 4, 5, 6 years ago.
You should have brought it up before now.
Well,
We're up against it now.
yeah, they might not get it this year,
Yeah.
it might be a next year thing.
All right. Mark West hauling permits.
There's a
They wanna
folder.
renew them, there's 5 of them.
That big manila folder.
Right here.
No, I'm in your folder,
Right here.
no, in your folder.
Oh, in my folder, oh,
That big folder
Okay.
there has all the permit renewals, the new permit that they want.
I seen checks
I
and
got
all
the
kinds of
MOU,
stuff.
the, certificates of insurance are in there,
Yeah. So everything's
everything's signed, sealed,
everything's
delivered.
ready to go. I didn't think, I thought we, there's 5 of them there.
Yeah,
5 renewals.
It's
and 1 new
250
one.
each. I didn't think we had to vote on these.
Not for renewals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
yeah.
We should,
I'll
because the ordinance says that once a year they have to redo them.
I will move that we approve the Mark West hauling permits and permits, whatever you have in there, renewals.
Are they all on Buck Run? Because it only
No.
says Buck Run Road.
And then
That's
it's
for the
a new one, and then it says permit renewals.
Buck Run Road is the new permit, and they have 5 renewals, and they have all the roads listed on them.
For sales, like heroes.
So far what I seen.
Well, it's pretty good back towards the end. That's their bond, and the next group, that should be them.
But Cuttingham, Old National, Shepherd, Waynesburg, and Old National again.
This,
I just wanna see their bond.
there's the bond.
Did they give some paperwork for the renewals?
The bond was there, performance bond. Got a motion. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it.
It's only $10,000.
Got a motion and a second to renew their hauling permits.
Doesn't look the right amount of money,
It's only $10,000 bond.
$10,000 bond.
Should be. Was there other bonds?
It's
Never mind.
just for Buck Run.
That's it.
But they
Because the others are
expire.
renewals.
Don't they expire? Is that right? Because they all
This one just
expire.
says Buck Run, yeah.
Yeah, but the last one should have expired, so they should have, don't we have new ones?
A lot of times they are indefinite.
They continue.
Okay, I just wasn't sure what they were.
A lot of times they just renew unless they're canceled.
As long as the bond is still active, I guess.
All the checks are the same.
Renewal.
What was you got?
Renewal.
No, I was
Right amount of money?
asking.
Yeah, well.
Oh, the bond,
Yeah.
oh, you mean
I
the
was looking
bond.
at the amount of the bond to see how much it was for,
$10,000.
Okay.
is it a gravel road, I
Okay.
Yeah, Buck Run, most,
guess? Mm-hmm.
but most of them.
Yeah.
How do you, any other discussion? Did somebody second? We got
I
my,
did, I
yeah,
seconded
we got a
it.
second.
Thanks.
How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes,
Tammy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Tom,
Yep,
Ed,
Yeah.
5 yes, motion carried.
Do we know what night trick or treat's in Claysville? Have they said it?
I
I
don't
move that
know.
we set it the same night as they do.
Yeah. and I didn't
Contact
think to
them.
call her. That was like a last minute phone call I got.
Yeah. Call them, get together with them, whatever night they do it, I think we'll be good with that for it.
Okay.
Trick or treat. We don't need nothing there.
Motion to approve it the same night as Claysville. Find out what it is.
Second. How do you vote?
hold on, she's writing.
Doug,
Yes.
Tom,
yep.
Kathy,
Yes,
Tammy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yeah.
5 yes, motion carried.
Okay, repair the John Deere boom mower and tracks for the skid steer.
I think we already did that when we approved the checks, I don't think it's requires another approval.
Range permits.
Eddie, question on that last one real quick, since
Yeah.
you guys discussed it earlier. Could you not, I understand you get 2,500 threshold for approval for regular purchases and non-urgent items, that's a good policy. Couldn't you just set a policy to go with that, that if it is, I hate to use the word emergent, I know there's something in place for emergency, but an urgent type, I mean, that'd be it might be pushing it to call emergency. Something urgent.
I agree, it ain't in my
Day-to-day
definition of
basis
emergency.
production that would end up costing you
Yes,
more,
there's a
something in place
you
to
can put-
address that.
You can put in a purchase order policy, which will allow for purchase orders, and then those can be done that way. So you can set a policy, absolutely.
Probably be good, just for that instance, in a small township, if you only got one piece, same kind of equipment, it's holding up repairs and production, and a month might cost you till next spring, it'd be a good idea to have policy in place on items like that, you could,
Two or three roads might not get ditched.
right.
Between each meeting, which is over $30,000 a year.
Board member, you can call all of them, it's always been like that, just had to take.
A necessity category.
Okay,
Which breaks the sunshine law.
moving on. Range permits.
All right, so here's the issue with the range permits. The bonds are good, we have a series of conditions that you meet. The bonds are good, the escrow is good. Range apparently, for some reason, didn't renew, put in the actual applications.
Then they need to comply.
Well, they seem to feel that a deal was made that they didn't have to, that they would just continually renew.
Well, they don't do business that way.
Say
We don't
more
need
now.
They know better.
we need to notify them that, put in writing to them that they need to follow the procedure.
Well, Range has always been, everything is okay, all they need to do is apply for the permits. Just fill out the application.
Okay, then they need to do that. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so that don't require any action from us till they fill out permits. Is it, I'm confused.
Applications.
Or, yeah,
There'd be
applications.
no, I move there'd be no approval till we get the permit complete. Whatever they gotta do.
Conditional.
They can,
That's
yeah,
right.
they can do it tomorrow.
Stepping all over this.
Okay, so you wanted to approve them without that?
No, we're just bringing it to the attention.
Oh,
It wasn't this board that they felt they had an agreement with.
The other board would have had an agreement with it, it'd been in writing. I move we notify them they need to complete the process, or for us to renew their,
Okay, you pick up
Permit.
the phone.
Okay?
like everybody else. I don't think you can treat one differently than anyone else.
Or in the alternative, have them produce that agreement
Yeah,
that's
that's
in
fine.
writing from the former board.
They're actually looking for it now, they're talking to their solicitor. There's actually language in one of the agreements.
That
was
references a
reached
document that
That references documents that we don't have.
we don't
on file.
know if they exist or where they are.
So
Well, that's that
they've
problem.
met all the other
requirement.
requirements. Therefore, filing for the application should not be difficult for them.
No,
But-
we should be able to do that immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Could you pass a conditional?
No, I wouldn't.
they're gonna request a sit-down. And I think it's a good idea. There's been
We need to
a
get
lot
on
of
the same
discussion,
page.
Yes.
there's been a lot of different things negotiated outside of the ordinance that we have in writing that need resolved. If the board's fine with it, so be it. If they're not, then it needs addressed, but I think somebody from the board,
Like the school bus thing. right?
needs to
Yeah.
sit down,
Mhm.
yeah, the school bus thing, eventually will be incorporated into
But
the,
it's,
into the
yeah, it's
permits.
been like a gentleman's agreement up till
Right,
now.
right, exactly. But there, just so it's clear for the record, there's language, we found language that doesn't support our position that they should have permits. That suggests that maybe other agreements were made. But there's nothing definitive.
Okay,
I don't
so
think
this
that-
is just a heads up at this time?
Yeah, I don't
And-
think they're trying to.
And
No.
we need to meet with them?
They've met all the obligations, there's no advantage to them
Right,
not to fill out a
Yeah,
piece of
it's,
paper.
everything else is still there.
okay.
The road use maintenance agreement is in place.
See what,
There, is it?
I don't have.
Oh, okay, I thought they gave stuff.
Okay,
You need to change the triggers to that air thing,
water leak repairs.
an air thing.
The water leak on Shepherd required we were able to use the landowner's equipment. We don't know how much water went through. But the bill came to $1,000, and I don't know if we need a motion to pass that on to customer or how we want to do that.
Where was the leak? I mean, like, where was it at? Was it on the road? Was it past the
In the
meter?
field.
They hit it,
They hit it
yes.
on, I'm just trying to, is it on what side of the, I was wondering what side of the meter.
Gardner's on the right, going out there, they put in a new double wide, but it wasn't through the meter, so,
The water's gone.
yeah, the water's,
That's just,
Give it the range.
Did you say the customer hit or hid it?
hit.
they,
Oh, there was no hiding it.
they ruptured the line.
He's responsible for it then if he had it.
So the question is, do we need a motion to pass that on to him?
Do you even have a dollar amount of what was lost?
$1,000.
$1,000 to repair it.
Or is this some sort of an estimate?
No, it was $1,000 for them to repair it.
So we're only giving him the repair, not the